Good morning, children. Welcome back to our geography class, and this is your Bhagya ma'am here. Before the home assessment, we have started this chapter, Children in Geography, that is Our Changing Earth. This is your third chapter in geography. In this Our Changing Earth, we have discussed two parts. Okay, in those two parts, what we have discussed? The movements of the earth, that is endogenic forces and exogenic forces. We have discussed the first part, that is the endogenic forces. Once again, we recollect those endogenic forces, children. The movement of the earth which occurs below or beneath the surface of the earth is called endogenic forces. So, due to endogenic forces, what kind of sudden forces may occur, children? Earthquake, volcanic eruption, and landslides may occur, which we have discussed in the first two parts of our chapter. And what kind of steps you need to take to escape from the earthquake and volcanic eruptions also we have discussed, right? So today we are going to discuss about the exogenic forces. It means the forces which occur on the surface of the earth with the help of two activities. What are those? Erosional and depositional activities. Okay, so with the help of erosional and depositional activities, the landforms may occur. So these erosional and depositional activities, how they occur, children? With the help of the agents, natural agents called river, wind, sea waves, glaciers, etc. So let us see them in detail. Major landforms. The landscape is being continuously worn away by two processes: weathering and erosion. The landscape, it means the surface of the earth or the terrain of the earth, is continuously worn out. Worn out means what? Changes or wear and tear away by two processes. That is only with the help of what? Weathering and erosion. So what's the meaning of weathering, children? It is nothing but the breaking up of rocks on the earth's surface. You might have wondered how these rocks may break up, right? With the help of chemical, physical reactions within the earth, within the rocks, and also with the help of temperature. So, in the high temperatures, rocks weather quickly. That's why in summers, rocks may break up so quickly. And one more activity called erosion, children. So, what's the meaning of erosion? Erosion is the wearing away of the landscape by different agents like water, wind, and ice. With the help of these agents like what? No, water, wind, and ice, the topmost layer of the topmost layer of the earth may wear away. Okay, na? So that's called erosion. The eroded material is carried away or transport. Carried away means what, children? Transported by water, wind, ice, etc. So, and eventually deposited in some other place, children. So, this process of erosion and deposition create different landforms on the surface of the earth. You know, children, some other place erosion may occur and same erosional sediments may deposit some other place. So, with this, what you have to understand is erosion and deposition go hand in hand. Okay. Again, the deposited ones only again they may get eroded with the help of floods. Okay. So in that way, the erosion and deposition are go hand in hand. They go simultaneously. Now, the process of erosion and deposition create different landforms, children. So now we are discussing about the different landforms which are created by the erosion and depositional activities. Now let's see the work of a river. How do the river helps in making the landscape change? Okay. So the running water in the river erodes the landscape. As you all know that the running water erodes the landscape. So river water also erodes the landscape. So when the river tumbles at the steep angle over the hard rocks, it forms waterfall. It means tumbles means what, children? When the river falls at a great height to down slopes, that forms a waterfall. So actually generally, children, waterfalls are often formed where a layer of harder rocks overlays a layer of softer rock. See, in this picture you can see on the top you can see the hard rock and the down you can see the soft rock. So now tell me, which rock will erode so quickly? Yes, you are right. The soft rock may erode so quickly than the hard rock. That's why what happens, children? Gradually the soft rock leads to erosion. See here in this picture. As the river passes over the soft rock, it is able to erode it at a faster rate. So forming a step in the river bed. See here, you can see the step of over there because the erosional activity has happened very quickly on the soft rock because the rock is soft. It did not happen over the hard rock because already the hard rock is hard. Now see. Here, the depth of the soft rock has become much more because it is happening, the erosional activity is happening continuously, so making this hard and soft rock like a waterfall. So that's what you can see in the textbook also is given a picture, but it's not clear, children. But you can see the layers of hard and soft rocks, which may leads to formation of waterfall. Children, in the textbook we have given a wonderful, do you know, a fact. Shall we learn that, children? Yes. So there are thousands of small waterfalls in the world. There are thousands are there, but they are not notable ones. What do you remember, children? The highest waterfall or the largest waterfall? You'll remember, right? Yes. So let's see. The highest waterfall is Angel Falls of Venezuela. What's that, children? The highest waterfalls where, children? It's in Venezuela. Its name is Angel Falls. What's that? Angel Falls. And the other waterfalls are Niagara Falls. The other waterfalls is what, children? Niagara Falls, which is located on the border between Canada and USA. It is between the Canada and USA in North America. And the Victoria Falls on borders of Zambia and Zimbabwe in Africa. It's very interesting, no? Niagara Falls is in between what, children? Canada and USA. Whereas Victoria Falls is in between Zambia and Zimbabwe. It is in Africa. Okay, so Victoria Falls is in Africa, Niagara Falls in USA and Canada. Fine, children. So let's go ahead. Yes, I have a question. Children, the river flows. But why do river curves, children? As it is flows, no, the river develops curves or loops. So why do the river develops its curves? Let's see. As the river enters the plain, it twists and turns, forming large bends. Those bends only called loops. We can also call them as what, children? Loops, which you can see here. So those loops only we can call them as what? Meanders. Say again, meanders. So meander is the first erosional activity of the river, children. Now let's the second erosional activity of the river, that is Oxbow Lake. Oxbow Lake. Children, its name is Oxbow. See, back of the ox you can see the hump, no? So because it is in the shape of the ox, the hump of the ox, it is named as Oxbow Lake. So how do this Oxbow Lake occur, children? Due to continuational erosional and depositional activities along the sides of the meander, ends up the loops. The loops come closer and closer, which you can see here. So as the river is flowing, gradually the loops are coming closer and closer. So ultimately it cuts off from the main stream and forms the lake. So that cut off lake is called what, children? Oxbow Lake. What's that? Oxbow Lake. So it becomes a freestanding water body, children. Now the floodplain. What's the meaning of floodplain? At times of the river flows on its banks, river banks. Okay, so that leads to flooding of the neighboring areas. So as it floods, that it deposits the layers of fine particles on the fine particles or other sediments, children, on the banks of the rivers. So it leads to the formation of flat level flood plain, a flat level flood plain. Now, let's see the another erosional activity of this river, that is levees. What's that? Levees. So, what is the meaning of levees? Nothing, children. It is just the raised bank of the floodplain. So, you can see the floodplain both sides of the river, but just a raised part. It acts like an embankment. What's the, children? It's act like an embankment. That's only called what? Levees. But children, as this levees become the river gets floods continuously, this levees also become higher and higher every time. Okay, so this is a levee, children. See here. Okay, now comes to the delta. So how do these deltas form, children? Deltas are formed at the mouth of the river. Where, children? At the mouth of a river. Do you know what's the meaning of a mouth of a river? Yes, the place where the river joins the sea. The place where river joins the sea. Now, you can see the distributaries over here, no? So what are the distributaries, children? These are nothing but channels. As the river approaches the sea, the speed of the flowing water decreases. You know why, children? Because of its gentle slope or no slope. That's why it develops what, children? Separation of different branches. The river begins to break up into number of channels. Those channels of streams are called distributaries. Here see, distributor channels are there. No? And the land in between those two distributors only called what, children? Delta. Okay? See here, this is the mouth of a river and those are deltas and these are distributaries. That's all for today, children. Thank you.